Okay. Hey guys. Welcome to the very first episode of You Only Live Once podcast. I'm Dakota, the host, and thank you for tuning in. So I just kind of, for today's episode, I just kind of want to talk about what the podcast is, why I created it, what's the meaning of the title, a little bit about me, so that way you guys know, like, what I'm all about. So yeah, that's kind of just the vibe for today. I want to mention a bit of what the podcast will contain, but I don't want to explain too much because I obviously want to put that in later episodes. But yeah, let's just get right on into it. So the podcast is called You Only Live Once. I'm going to be calling it YOLO Pod for short, just in case, not just in case, but it's short and it's easy to remember and it's cute. But it's called You Only Live Once, and I chose this name because it's a very big belief and moral of mine, to remind myself that I only live once. If I'm ever stressed, or I am fearful, or I don't know if I should do something that I really do want to do, but I'm having some fear about it, or even if I'm overwhelmed, or if I'm embarrassed, or if I'm heard about something, I remind myself, I only live once. So I just feel like it's a very big again, belief of mine, but it's also an eye-opening thing, a reminder that you only live once, so to experience what you want to experience and to live the life you want to live. And I decided to name this podcast that because I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I was very my cat joined the my cat joined the episode. For the people that are watching on YouTube, this is Blair. But I have always wanted to do a podcast, but I was kind of scared to do one. I was in high school and I was always what if people make fun of me? What if it's a stupid idea? All the thoughts that come into wanting to start something new. And I never did it, and I was always kind of disappointed. I was I've always really wanted to do a podcast. I have lots of thoughts and I have lots of ideas, and I love to talk. I love to communicate and conversate, and I never did. And then recently I saw TikTok, and it was my best friend and I would be millionaires if we just started a podcast at the ripe age of 18 and 19, something along the lines of that. And it just got me thinking, and I was why don't I just start? What is holding me back? I told myself, I was I only live once. I might as well get into it and start a podcast if that's what I want to do. And, yeah, so, it wasn't, about, it did say millionaires on the TikTok, but, that's not what got me. I don't think about money with this. And, obviously, this is my first episode. I'm not making money. This is just for fun. And yeah, that's where the name kind of comes from, and that's why I started podcast, because I was just so what? I graduated high school. I don't care what people think about me. It's a mindset, and I do. Let's be honest, I'm human. I do care what people think about me, but if people are going to put me down or make fun of me or, disagree with the fact that I have a podcast, then that's their right, but also, that shouldn't affect me. It also shouldn't affect people. If you don't like it, or if you don't like me, then that's okay, that's completely fine. You're human. You're allowed to have that right. But I'm just not going to let it affect me anymore, what I think about people. In terms of starting a podcast, I have a lot of other jumps through mindsets that I need to get through, if that makes sense. But I'm starting out with this, and I think that it'll help me in the future with other mindsets about people what I think about people caring about me and that kind of stuff. That was a complete jumble mess, but I hope it's getting the point across. So that is where the name comes from. I just want it to be a reminder to myself that I only live once, and also a reminder to other people that you do only live once, to make sure to experience life and to live the life that you want to live, and not miss out on opportunities because you were too scared to, because of what other people think. And I mean, I never want to look back on my life and be like, I wish I did this, but I was too scared to at the time. I never want to do that. I want to be able to experience. But I also want to talk about this in a later episode, a more deep conversation about mindset and people's opinions and how you outlook on life. So that'll be a different episode. But that is the reason for the title of the podcast today. So a little bit about me. My name's Dakota. I live in California. Like I said, I graduated high school, so I am a high school graduate. I only did 3 years of high school. I was an early grad, so I did high school, like, I went in regularly. I did my entire, like, K through 10th grade. I did all my, like, years regularly. Like, I never had any plan on graduating early. And then in sophomore year, I decided that I wanted to. So I did summer school, and I did 0 period. So I got to graduate a year early, which was the best decision I've probably ever have made. It completely, like, I look back and I'm just like, thank God that I did that. Like, oh my God, like, people are going back to school, and this would have been my senior year, and I couldn't have done it. I don't know how I was thinking I could have done it. I'm so grateful that I graduated. But yeah, so I'm a high school graduate. I'm not going to college. I have decided to take the route of travel. And so I'm going to travel, and I'm going to do photography. That is my career. I'm just never really been a school person, and I don't learn well in school. I get anxiety, I get stressed, I can't pick up information from, like, a science book or a teacher talking at the front of the class. I can't pick up on information like that. It just, I mean, maybe later. But right now, it doesn't work for me. And I love to travel, and I think that traveling is one of the best lessons you can ever have in life. So I have decided to do that. So I'm going to travel. I'm doing this company called Worldpackers. I'm not going to get too much into it, but yeah, that is what I'm doing instead of college. I'm traveling the world. And the podcast will be growing from that. I really want to bring the podcast along my travels and talk to people, not like interview type style, but just talk to people. And Blair, stop, sorry, my cat is messing with my mic wire. But I really just want to talk to people from different parts of the world and see how they look at life and see how they experience life and how their outlook on life is different from not only mine, but like mine as an American, like, and as a young girl, I want to see the different aspects of life, and I think it's so inspiring to meet new people and to, like, view the world from their eyes as a reference. That didn't make sense. I was trying to finish that sentence and then I mind blanked. But I'm like having trouble talking right now. But yeah, so I really, like, that is where this podcast is going to go. So it's not just going to be me sitting in my room here. It's going to be, for the people that are on YouTube, you can see that. For the people that are on the podcast apps, I can't think right now. Oh my God. I'm sitting in my room. But that is where the podcast is going to go. And I am really excited about that because I think that's going to bring individuality to the podcast. I think that Blair, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. My cat is literally messing with my wire, and she's trying to play with it. But yeah, I think that'll bring a lot of individuality to the podcast and just kind of create it as its own. Obviously, there's a bunch of podcasts right now, so I want to do something a little bit different. But until then, we will be on this chair. And I want to talk about things that, yes, have to do with life, like growing up and getting older and outlooks on life and that kind of stuff. But I also want to talk about more mind-opening conversations and, like, eye-opening, because I have, like I said at the beginning, I have a lot of thoughts, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast, is I have a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts about existence in the universe, and I'm a very spiritual person. I have a very spiritual mindset, so I love to talk and just ramble about all things that have to do with the universe, and, like, languages, and the fact that we're here on a floating rock, and, you know, so on and so on. So I do want to do, like, episodes of that. I think it will be really cool. Just talk about that and, like, how, like, what I think about is going on, which, not to sound like all, like, me, but I mean, I am speaking only me right now. So, but, you know what I mean? Like, I want to talk and just, like, get it out, because I love talking about it, but I don't always have someone to talk about, because not everyone has the same beliefs that I do. So, or have the time, because I can go on for hours about it. I will not drag this out for hours. We don't have hours long podcast. But, anyways, yeah, so that's where this podcast is going to go. And I mean, that's a little bit about me. A little bit more is I have a cat, obviously, as you guys have heard or seen if you're watching YouTube. Her name is Blair. And yeah, I live in California. I grew up in Indiana, but I don't really resonate with there at all. I have lived in California for most of my teen years. I lived here when I was 14. I live with my mom, who will be coming on the podcast. I definitely want to do at least a couple episodes with her, because I think when we get together, we're really funny, because we're both very young. Not like, I shouldn't say young, because that makes it sound like we're immature, but we are very close because she is such a young mother, and we can really go, like, not like at it, but like we can like she makes a joke and I make a joke coming back. Like, we're very good like that. And it's just, we have very good conversations, because she's also very spiritual. So we can kind of really develop, and she's very wise, and she's just an amazing woman. So she will be coming on the podcast. But I live with my mother. It's just us and my cat, obviously. And I have some fish and some plants. But, yeah, that's really a little bit about me. Again, I'm really excited for this podcast, and I'm really happy that I finally started it. I think it's damn time that I started it. And, yeah, I mean, I think for viewers, like, if you want to know if you should, like, listen to this or anything, this is kind of a podcast for all ages. I'm not really, I mean, I'll cuss. I have a mouth a little bit. I'm not going to, like, do it just to do it, but, I mean, it comes naturally. So if I do, like, if you're a kid listening to this, I might cuss a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is for all ages. It's really, I want this podcast to just kind of be, one, inspirational. Like, when I travel, I want the voices of the people around the world to kind of inspire. I mean, I'm gonna be very inspired by when I travel, and I just kind of want to, I love, like, when I watch videos I love about, like, the world and travel, I love getting inspired from that. So if I could bring that to someone, that's why I do photography. Like, that's what I want to do in photography. I want to help inspire, and I want to show how beautiful our world is. So yeah, so that's what my goal is. I just want to inspire. I just want to, if I can help in any way sort of possible just by talking or something, then that would be amazing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going, but like with what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should talk about for the first episode, but honestly, I mean, that's just kind of a little bit about what the podcast is, why it's called You Only Live Once, a little bit about me, what to expect in the future. I do want to bring some guests on here, not only my mom, but I have some siblings, so they don't live with me, obviously. I just stated that I live with my mom. But I do have some siblings, so I would love to bring them on if I can, and I would love to bring my memo on, and just some of my friends, and just, like, have some conversations about life and that kind of stuff, and experiences, and what life means through their eyes, and how they see life through their eyes, and what they hope to accomplish, and how the sentence "you only live once" relates to them. So yeah, I mean, I think that's really it for this episode. I will see you guys in the next one, or I will talk to you guys in the next one. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to the You Only Live Once podcast, the first episode. Again, I'm very excited, and yeah, I just can't wait to see what comes. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next one.